morning. I feel a little bit better. Well, actually, I feel okay. Physically, okay. let's start at the beginning. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Tuesday, I went for my injection on Tuesday. And I had I ended up with a spinal fluid leak. Let me tell you, okay, I have been through childbirth. I've been through cancer twice, had several surgeries. This was, okay, the pain from this fluid leak is absolutely the worst pain I've ever experienced. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. It's the worst pain I have ever experienced. I think it would be hard to compare it to anything else. It was maybe when my jaw got dislocated, but that was just like a temporary pain. This was pain like stayed. It stayed. It wasn't just like, okay, it's gonna hurt for a little while and then it's gonna stop. No, no, it did not do that. It was bad. But I'm laying on the table and he goes, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. he goes, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? He said, now, he said, this is not dangerous. He goes, but, you have a slight spinal fluid leak. And he goes, and it's going to hurt. He goes, it's going to hurt really bad. He said, you're going to feel a lot of pain and pressure when you sit up. He said, if you stay laying down, you're going to feel okay. He said, but as soon as you sit up, you're going to have a whole bunch of pain and pressure going up your entire neck and head. He said, and it's going to hurt really bad. He goes, so what I want you to do is just lay here for a little while before you sit up, before you try and sit up. He goes, at the end, I want you to stay here for about 15-20 minutes before you leave, just so we can make sure that you're okay. I'm like, all right. So I laid there for about 10 minutes. He goes, I want you to drink. He says, now you have to do this. He says, I want you to drink a lot of fluids. He says, when I say a lot, I mean a lot. He said, drink a lot of fluids. He goes, and drink a lot of caffeine. He said, because it will help. And I was like, okay. So the nurse helps me sit up, right? And as soon as I sit up, oh, Jesus, it was bad. It was so bad. This pain just shot all the way up. And I was like, oh, my God. And I couldn't even hold my eyes open. I was like, oh, my God. And she's like, do you need to lay back down? I'm like, no, I'm going to push through it. No, I'm going to fight through it. And she's just looking at me like, child, just lay down. And she goes, well, come on, we'll take you in this next room and you can lay back down for a little bit. And I was like, okay. So She goes, I'm going to bring you some water and I want you to sip this water. She says, don't gulp it, don't guzzle it, just sip it. She said, finish this cup of water and then we'll see how you feel. And if you feel like you can move, she said, then you can go. I was like, okay. So she helps me into the next room. I lay back down. She brings me the water. She helps me sit back up, which is a terrible idea. And I sipped the water. And then it finally stopped hurting to the point where I wanted to vomit. And she's like, do you feel like you can get up and walk? And I said, yes, I definitely feel like I can get up and walk. I said, it's not so bad right now. It wasn't like, it was still blinding, but it wasn't like I'm totally debilitated. It was blinding. I couldn't, it was so hard to keep my eyes open because it just hurt so bad. My head just hurt so fucking bad. So, and the funny thing is that normally they always tell you, oh, bring a driver, right? I usually don't. I've been doing this for I've been doing these injections for like 20 years now or some shit. 15 years maybe. About 15 years, I'd say. And I just don't even think about it anymore because it's just so routine, you know? But this time, my son was with me, which is a good thing because he had to drive me. There was no way I would have been able to drive myself home. So, yeah, that's the reason they ask you if you have a driver. That's part of the reason why they tell you make sure you have a driver. That would be it. And so they told me to check in with them the next day, let them know how I felt. I was still in a lot of pain. My head was still like pounding. And it's not like a pounding headache pain. It was almost like a burning. It was almost like a burning pain. You know? Like when you pull a muscle and it burns. It was like that. But like magnified. So I called them and I said, I'm still hurting really bad. And I was still hurting really bad. And they said, well, just keep laying down as much as you can. Just lay down as much as you can. Keep drinking the fluids. They said, increase your caffeine. And I was like, okay, I've already had half a pot of coffee. And she's like, no, seriously. She said, go get you some Mountain Dew. She said, and just keep drinking the Mountain Dew. She said, it will make you feel better. And I was like, okay. So I went and I bought a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. And I drank Mountain Dew. All week I've been drinking Mountain Dew. For the last 3 days. That's all I've been doing. It's drinking Mountain Dew and coffee. And I feel like shit. Not gonna lie, I feel like shit from it, right? As far as that goes, the headache is gone. My back, however, is throbbing like a son of a bitch. It's hurting so bad. My back is hurting so bad. And my neck is still like really sore. But yeah, after 3 days of doing nothing but laying down and drinking Mountain Dew and coffee, I'm a lot better. The headache is gone. So I feel like shit though from all that fucking caffeine. It just fucked me up. Even my ADHD ass was like, oh, this is too much. This is too much. It was making me kind of sick to my stomach to have to drink all that, but I did it. It was bad, y'all. It was so bad. But she told me when I called the next day, she's like, well, just give it another day or two and see how you feel. She said, if you're not better by Friday, call us. She said, and we'll bring you in and we'll do a blood patch. Okay, let me explain to y'all what a blood patch is. They take blood from your arm and inject it into your spine, your spinal column, okay? And that travels through your spinal column and it patches where the leak is, right? So now what's bad about this is because that will set you down longer than what I was down with the leak. From what I've been able to research of it, you're not supposed to bend, you're not supposed to twist, you're not supposed to lift anything. You're supposed to stay in bed, complete bed rest for at least 72 hours, except to eat and use the bathroom. I am not in a situation where that can happen, okay? Not in a situation where that can happen. If something like that were to happen, I would need to be in the hospital in order to do any of that, okay? Because there's no way if I were to try and rest at home, that doesn't happen. That's not going to happen, okay? Dad's not going to let it happen. That's just how that goes. That's just how that is. He doesn't care that I would have to be basically bedbound for however many days. You know, I wouldn't be able to go to work. I'd have to take leave off of work. So that would be more money lost, right? I just can't. So I'm glad it resolved itself. But I kind of almost wish, you know, just so I could have a fucking break, man. Just so I could have a fucking break. Is that terrible? Does that make me a terrible person? I don't think it does. I think to a lot of people it'll sound that way, but no, that doesn't make me a terrible person. I don't think it makes me a terrible person to feel that way. I really don't. I think it makes me human to feel that way. Y'all, I'm tired. I could use a break. I really could use a break. Pretty sure that this was the universe's way of going, girl, get your shit together, right? So anyway, I'm here because they didn't tell me that I couldn't go to work. They didn't tell me not to go to work. I came to work. Could not stay home another day. I wasn't scheduled Wednesday. They didn't even schedule me Wednesday. And I thought I was going to have like a whole week off to get shit done. No. Universe said, you thought. So anyway, but I've got stuff in case I need, I've got stuff. Got stuff going on in case I need anything. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I'm starving, you guys. I'm so hungry. I don't even know if I had Pop-Tarts. I have no idea if I had Pop-Tarts or not. I didn't look. I was so busy trying to keep myself together that I didn't even think about Pop-Tarts until I was right about to leave. So, oh, my neck is really hurting too. But yeah, I have, I packed myself a go bag, just in case something happens and I have to go. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but just in case I have to go, I have a go bag. It has like some extra set of clothes, all my charging cords, and that's it. All my charging cords and my tablet. So anyway, I have my go bag in case something happens and I have to go. Because I thought I was going to have to go back up to hospital. I really did. I really did. I was afraid. I was kind of afraid, you know. I've never been like that before. And it, you know, I don't know. No, but that patch, after you have that patch, you can't do anything for like 3 months or some shit. You have to, like, I can't take 3 months off work. I can't be 3 months at home with Mr. It's all about me. You know, why are you not taking care of me? What, you know, and that's the first thing he said. You know that. That's the first thing he said. Because when I called the doctor, I had to leave a message, right? Well, no, I called and I talked to the nurse that helped me the day before. And she said, okay, tell me everything that's going on and how you feel, and I'll relay it to the doctor, and then I'll call you back and tell you what he says. And I was like, okay. So I told her everything, and she said, okay, I'll call you back. Well, I started getting stuff together because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I've never had a spinal fluid leak. You know, I don't know. How bad is it? I don't know. So, he said slight. Okay, okay, that stuff like that. It's, you know, it's relative, you know. But anyway, so I was getting stuff together in case I had to go to hospital because I didn't know. And he's like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, getting stuff together in case I might have to go back up to hospital. Well, I hope you're at least going to be able to go and get my cigars for me. Because I couldn't go get them the other day, right? They didn't have any, so I had to wait. Well, I at least hope you're going to be able to go get my cigars for me. What am I going to do? I don't know, smoke less? Fuck, I don't know. How's that my responsibility? What am I gonna, what? I'm responsible now for you? As far as like, oh, I have to like, oh, fuck me, I guess. Let me go get your cigars while I could be having a serious medical incident. It's fine, really. And then I was like, okay, and then when they were talking about the blood patch, and I was like, okay, this might happen. Well, what am I going to do? Who's going to take care of me? Okay, so, okay, almost 60, not in great health. This can't be the first time that you're ever thinking this. What are you going to do? Who's going to take care of you? You know, you can't honestly tell me that this is the very first time that this thought has entered your head that something could happen to me and then you'd be fucked. Which is why I keep trying to convince him to go to a home, because I can't take care of you anymore. I keep telling him that. I can't take care of both of us anymore. I just can't. And he just doesn't even care. And I was like, I guess you'll just have to fucking figure it out. What would you do if I died? Whatever you would do if I died, do that. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. That's all I ever tell anyone. That's what I told the neighbors. When he was the maintenance person at the trailer park, he was in the hospital and somebody came and needed something. And I said, he's in the hospital. Well, what am I going to do? I said, what would you do if he was dead? And they just kind of looked at me and I said, whatever you would do if he was dead, do that. And I shut your door. Then that's how it is. What would you do if I was dead? Because whatever it is you would do if I was dead, do that. Do that. Because that's the answer. That's your right answer. Well, anyway, I'm starving. I'm in a lot of pain. I got to go in. Do your best. Try not to die. And thanks for coming by.